Okay, today is January 13th, 2026, and I am going to start backtesting for the year. Let's do the second week of January. Okay. I think this looks good. So, my trading is going really well. I've yet to. I'm working on my win rate this year, which is why I'm starting clean with new stats. So I also want to document where I am in my trading, which is why I just want to capture my thought process. Okay, so let us see what is going on. Immediately I see a draw lower here. So let's see, is this inside of a gap of some kind? It is, okay. So this is inside of a daily gap. Daily intermediate low. And there is a 4-hour gap right here. Okay. So I would say for me, since we're so close to this intermediate low inside of the gap, as well as the 4-hour unmitigated gap, and we're respecting these high time frame PD arrays, so we respect this 4-hour, for example. This now becomes a 4-hour intermediate high. 4-hour intermediate high. Pretty big SMT with ES. ES is a lot stronger than NQ. I could see ES coming down to these relative equal lows and 4-hour gap. So we have a 4-hour gap here. We also have a 4-hour gap here. So, okay, so now we have a 4-hour gap, and ES is at the 50%, which is equilibrium of the range. This is the 4-hour intermediate high. 4-hour intermediate high. So what could happen is ES could just take this intermediate low here, although it doesn't have to because it just tapped into this unmitigated 4-hour gap. NQ could take this sell side, and then we go up higher. I don't know, but anyways, out of open, I'm looking for an open low. So let's go to next day open, and we are opening low. I guess I thought that we were at market open when I marked that out, but let's just see what else is below us. There's an unmitigated daily here. Go down to the 4-hour. There is a 4-hour gap here with relative equal lows. That probably gets taken. 4-hour gap here. What about the 1-hour? And then 1-hour, there's a bunch of gaps. So I'm not going to worry too much about this. Right now, I'll just mark them out. 1-hour gap here, and then 1-hour gap here, which is this a devil's mark? No, it's not. Okay. All right. Let us see. And then I guess I should do the same for ES. Yeah, I have that marked. And then there's also a 1-hour gap here. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens. So, Sorry, I'm just thinking. Yeah, I guess it depends. I would have to see some kind of really strong open high out of open in order to be interested in longs. Otherwise, it does kind of feel like we are just trending down at the moment. ES has hit, what has it hit? It's hit its first gap, which is a 4-hour gap. Okay, so ES is in the gap. We are still trending down, respecting bearish. Just formed a bearish fair value gap here on NQ, where session liquidity was happening. London highs are all over here, and they are relative equal highs here. That's buy side, but that's so far away. I mean, I'm not really even thinking about that right now. Right now, it just looks like there's so many draws here, so I'm just going to see if I can play some kind of continuation setup going down here. So now we have a 5-minute gap, and let's see what happens. Tap into it. No 1 minute. Like, there might be a 30-second, but no, there isn't. Crazy. So we are just... Hello? Hello? Okay, there we go. Maybe we resweep the 5-minute? Okay, there's a setup here, a short setup here that I missed, but whatever. I probably wouldn't take that because look at the equal highs, right? Yeah, it left perfect equal highs. That's a really good draw, potentially. Maybe we tap into here and then we take a long or something. Just melting, huh? That's fine. Just melting. Let's take a look. Are we starting to trade up? None of this looks good for me yet. There is a 5-minute here, so I could see a potential 5-minute inverse. Please close up. Nope. Just, it looks horrible. This just looks absolutely horrible. Nothing interesting here at all. 15-minute gap here. So at this point, honestly, like, I'm looking for a long. We are so deep into this gap, and we took out all these draws. 15-minute here. This could be my target. But, I mean, you need a setup first, and there is just nothing. There's just this 2-minute, which I don't even really want to take. Yeah, I mean, this really sucks. Really not good. Just a day of melting. That's fine. That is boring. Let's go to the next day then. Okay, what is going on now? A lot of SMTs here, and actually, this is a really big one. Yeah, huge SMT. Kind of curious, is this like a... It could just be a really high time frame rebalance of the range here, and honestly, this is a gap right here. Yeah, ooh, that's nice. That's nice. So now, price taps into this gap, which I did have marked out the other day. There was just no long opportunity. I guess price recovered overnight or something, but now look at this. Oh, whoops, right here. Bam, daily fair value gap that I can target right there. And it's a 4-hour intermediate high and a 1-hour gap, all sandwiched close together. So this is a really good draw, especially because we have this V-shaped recovery. Did any gaps get inversed here? Yeah, the 4-hour just got inversed. Okay, I am bullish. I am bullish. So let us see what happens. There's also a gap here. Okay, so then maybe I go to the 15-minute and there is a gap here. I'm just marking out where price can potentially go before reversing. And if I look at equilibrium, it is okay, so at least this gap right here, potentially this one right here. So coming into market, I'm looking for an open low, take out some liquidity, and then otherwise, like, I am bullish. Or maybe we open high, open up some kind of condition, some kind of bullish gap, and then trade into it, and then go higher, something like that. So, alright, well, let's just see. News at 10 testifies. There's that open low that I wanted to see. There's that, oh, dude, if I just get this inversion right here, it's over. Yeah. I mean, when I say that I want to see something and then it happens, I take. This is another 15 minutes, so I'm just marking out all the gaps. So I would say I expect this gap to break, but potentially this one or this one to hold. And is there any 5 minutes here? There's a 5 minute right here. So let's just see. So let's say I do this, and then my stop loss is there. And then I go for a 1-to-1. That's before the 5 minute. Honestly, I could probably target this 5 minute here. But we will see. So at the very least, I go break even here. This 15 minute is my break even. And this looks like a nice inversion. And there's so much freaking low resistance here. I mean, look at this. Oh, this is making me excited already. Alright, we will see. I like this trade. I like this trade, and then I will make this my, wait, where? Okay, auto break even. Okay, and we will see, what? Break even must be, is this not a buy order? Oh. Yeah, okay. Let us see. So now stop loss at break even. Yeah. Okay. Easy W there. That was pretty obvious. I'd be done for the day in 5 minutes here, but let's just see what happens. So it comes back down, actually. So it taps into this 5 minute that I was saying it was probably going to. Comes back down. Might be reacting off of the 5 minute. I actually don't know. Let me just... Okay. Interesting. Taps into the 5 minute, then trades lower. So yeah, and then we go higher. So honestly, you know, I got in basically perfect exit just because it made the most sense, and then price sells off. So yeah, I got lucky. Like, this could have been a break even if it, because what price often does here is because it wanted to go up anyways, it could have just barely edged this high, left it, and then come taken out this sell. For some reason, it wanted to come back down. I don't know why. Don't ask me. And then it could save and come back up for it later. But yeah, and then all my draws higher got hit, which is nice. That's how you know that the narrative supports your trade, and I'm assuming we just go up higher for the rest of the day. Rebalance, no, just kind of chopping around. Yeah, and then we go higher so yeah, so we actually do end up going higher for the rest of the day. That's fine. What happens in PM? Does it just skyrocket? I mean, it already kind of, yeah, it does. Wow. All right, so we are actually bullish. Whoops. Oh my god. Wrong button. So we are bullish, kind of like what I was thinking. So that was a good day. Good start. Let us go to the next day. Wednesday. This probably looks, I'm hoping that it's obvious that it's pretty repetitive what I'm doing, which is good. SMT is still in play. What am I doing here? I guess the daily candle isn't showing for some reason. Okay, whatever. So we are starting to push up. So where is the next draw? It could be this intermediate high right here inside of the gap, but that's pretty far away. So this is a 1 hour intermediate high. We're in a daily gap. Oh, daily gap right here. We're in a 4 hour gap. Just took out this 4 hour intermediate high. I'm still bullish because we're respecting bullish, but maybe there's some kind of, I'll just mark out this 15-minute gap because it's kind of a near the 50% mark. This, yeah, this I would say would be the draw for buy side. This 15-minute right here. And there is a 15-minute gap here that we could tap into. There's also one right here. And there was news at 8:30, so let's see if there is a news candle. There is. Data lows. We could come back for those data lows. Data lows don't often remain there like that, especially because there's stacked lows right here. So, kind of from here to here. So there's like relative equal lows. So honestly, yeah, this could go either way. I mean, I'm assuming that we leave those for now and we go for this draw, but these stacked lows along with data lows, I mean, I could 100% see that happening. So we just have to see what happens out of market. We are currently respecting this 5-minute bearish fair value gap, so let's see what happens. Do we open high or low? We are opening high. If we open high first, then I would be open to shorting potentially down to here, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Oof. You know what? Do I short that? Do I short that? Do I short it? That's the question. Do I? What model is it though? It is a Judas, I would say. And what time was this? 9 in the morning, pre-market. Oh, I want to take this. And I think what I'll do is I'll just say that this is my break even. Break even, because it is a 5-minute, or no, wait, what is this? Yeah, it's a 5-minute intermediate low because it's inside of a gap here, this 5-minute gap. Take it out, so honestly, I short. I short. Down to data lows, and then that's my break even. Let's take this right here, put the auto break even on. Alright. We see what happens. Break even. And break even, that's fine. Okay, that's all for now, and I will be back later. Okay, I am back. Let's finish this week of backtesting. So, just took a break-even trade. So now, I guess the question is, it becomes, is this long, right? Wait. Oh, shoot. Yeah. is this long valid? This one right here. And I think since I just took a break even and it's 9:50, I think I'm just going to wait for 10 a.m. open. Because we could go down a little bit. Okay, 10 a.m. So, yeah, this draw's going to get hit, huh? Probably. 15-minute gap held. Yeah, I mean, don't know what, I mean, I don't really know what to do right now. Okay, if we hit the, this is a gap, I think. Is it a, oh god, okay, I'm doing this like the next day, so I completely forget. So it's a 15-minute gap. Well, let's just see if we, okay, we do hit it and we leave this 5-minute gap. I hate taking 5 minutes, but I mean, like, I have to, if this 5-minute inverses, I have to take it, right? And it doesn't. It doesn't, it keeps holding. That is interesting. That is very interesting. Anything interesting happening on the 1 minute? Oh. Well, this would have been the entry. I missed it though. Oh, you fucker. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Okay, whatever. Alright, 10:40. This day's washed. Let's just go to the next day. Oh my god, that hurts. And data lows end up getting hit. Okay, that's fine. It's not fine. No, it's fine. Okay. This is interesting. What I'm noticing is this same thing that happened on my other trade there, where I got in and then got the price reswept and then ended up going to the draw. I got in, I took this short, got break even on it because it went low enough. And then I guess it's a 10 a.m. macro. It just goes up, resweeps, taps into the gap, and then just dumps all the way down to the draws that I had, which is really annoying, but that happens. That's trading. That is trading. What day is this? Thursday. Okay, 2 more days. Well, we're 2 wins. I think. No, I'm 1 win and 1 break even, I think, for this week. I was going to say, I thought I was at 2 wins, but no. Could be doing a lot better, but that's fine. This is just for practice. So there is a daily fair value gap up here. Yeah, price is still delivering from sell side, so I am still bullish, although we are in this high time frame gap here, this daily gap. We're still in it, which is probably going to result in some choppy price action. So we're in a bearish daily gap. We are in a bearish 4 hour. So now the question is, does this 4 hour get inverse? So we need to close above this line right here, and I'll make it some different color so that I remember that. Let's make it blue. So we need to close above the blue line in order to be bullish. Otherwise, the 4 hour gap is holding, and then we could potentially see us go down to this gap, which, I mean, is this equal lows or is it not equal lows? I can't even tell. It's not equal lows, so it is a intermediate. Yeah, it's a 4 hour intermediate low. So this is a 4 hour ITL. Okay, I think I have a good idea of what's going on. 1 hour ITL down here. Okay, so pretty mixed, to be honest. I was very, like, you know, up here, obviously, I was, or back here, I was very confident in being bullish, at least up until these highs and up into this gap. But now that we're here, you know, multiple things could happen. We could respect the gap and then go and take out this liquidity. We could keep going. This could just be a buy model now up until this high right here, or this high. Like, I genuinely have no idea. So let's just see what we do out of open. We are in the gap, and we have a lot of... So here's another issue here. We have Asia right here. We have London right here. Okay. And extremely low resistance liquidity, which just means that these are all lows that have not taken out other lows, right? So low resistance versus high resistance, like this, for example, this would be high resistance because it's a low that took out these lows, right? These are the session lows. Like these highs, you can see these are all highs that don't take out other highs, and then it just you know, price just runs through it like butter. So same thing with here. You have some low resistance, which eventually gets cleared right here. Not all the way, of course. So we could still come back for this. Anyways, enough yapping. Like these highs, for example, this is a high, and then this high takes out this high, and then this high takes out that high. You know what I mean? So these are considered high resistance. But let's just see what happens. Out of open, no news. Okay. Let us see. And is there a 50? Oh, there is. Okay. So I am not going to bet against the bullish order flow until I have a reason. Even though we're in a high time frame gap, I understand that, but we just inversed this bearish gap and we are respecting bullish gap so far. So I am just going to assume that we continue to do so until I am shown otherwise. So tap into this 15-minute gap, why don't you? Okay, tapped in. Let's see what's going on now. It holds. We are at 937. Oof. I did not want to see that. High, see how this high took out this high? So, I'm trading with high resistance. Did this inverse? It did. Just barely. Well, for the sake of education, I have to take this because it's literally my model. And let's go for a 1-to-1, and then the break even will be here. I mean, is this a good trade? There's just so much, there's so much liquidity below, but we are bullish on the higher time frame, so this is going to be a trade where I just trust the higher time frame, which is probably where, you know, discretion comes in. It's like, when do you follow your rules like a robot, and when do you selectively, you know, like what inputs do you weigh and how important and when? So for example, this gap has not been rebalanced, which I don't like. It's also leaving, you know what, but it tapped into this gap. There's a lot to not like, but also it's so clean that we could just deliver from this 15 minutes, so let's just see what happens. Okay, and it's a win. Alright, so the fact that it's wicking like that is probably, I mean, that just confirms that it was like, yeah, it's a good setup, which is why I took it. Because look, if I delete this, this is the 15-minute chart. This is an unmitigated gap. We trade all the way into it, and then we get that reaction and we inverse this fair value gap. Like that's that's an A continuation model right there. And there are some things to be scared about, which, you know, I was aware of, but you know, ultimately you have to make decisions in trading. It's not always going to be simple and easy and obvious. So now I'm assuming if this holds, we're probably going to this high and maybe even inverse the gap. But like, I'm out of the trade, so now we just see what happens. Chop around a bit. Now we go down. So, you know, it's another beautiful thing about a high win rate system. And a low risk to reward. Like, I used to trade 3 or 4 like, you know, risk to reward systems, and the win rate was lower, and, you know, I could never quite figure it out. But the thing with high win rate is, or high RR is, you know, your moves are a lot larger, whereas this, like, I can be extremely confident that price is at least going to take out this high, which it does, and a bit more, and then I get my 1-to-1. If it doesn't go to my 1-to-1, then I just get break even because this high gets taken out. You know, so I can, you know, read what's happening in the short term very, very easily, whereas like it's pretty tough to, for a higher win rate, my target would have to be either up here or all the way down here, and you know, it's hard to tell. Like, it looked quite bullish, but now if we zoom out, so this is the 30-minute, so you know, price is looking like it could potentially inverse this 30-minute gap. Is there an hourly gap? There is not an hourly gap. Is there a 15-minute gap? Well, yeah, okay, the one that I use. But so it tapped into the gap, you know, use that to deliver, took out this high, right? So a high taking out another high. This now becomes high resistance. And now potentially what we could do is we could just do this, right? Leave low resistance liquidity here, which are highs that do not take out highs. These are high resistant, lows taking out other lows, take out these lows. Maybe tap into some gaps or whatever. But anyways, we'll see what happens for the rest of the day. So now I guess the main question for this price action is, does this gap hold, or in 9 minutes, does this candle close all the way down here? In which case, price is probably going down to London and Asia lows. Does it hold? Does it hold? See, it just melts through like butter. Low resistance, that's what happens. It goes in for London and Asia. So... and now it's 10:40, so there's no other trades here for me. I mean, this would be, if there's any continuation model here, there may have been one right here. Yeah, there is a continuation model. So, you know, I was just kind of like fast forwarding to like show what could happen, but continuation model, like what happens here. So why did this turn into educational? I don't know. I guess I might upload this. Like, anyways, this is the this is the fair value gap, right? And you can see right here that we tap into the fair value gap, right? Right here. So you zoom in, tap into the fair value gap. What happens? Well, we inverse this gap, which means that this is now an entry right here, and then your break even would be London, right? Because this is actually perfect. It could not have, this actually is a better trade than the one I took, because yeah. So equal lows and equal highs are one of my favorite draws because there's so much liquidity here. This is London, this is session lows, and then you make an equal low, and then you trade up into a fair value gap, and then you have an inversion, and then this is your entry. This is just absolutely beautiful. And to be honest, so it just edged the 1-to-1, but I bet you, well, it took out both sessions liquidity, so it doesn't have to keep going down, but I bet you it does. Just because this looks so strong. But yeah, this would have been, so there were multiple trades today. Honestly, this is like, what day is this? Thursday, January 13th, 2022. This was like a really hard day to lose money on, I feel, at least in backtesting. Yeah, and then it keeps going. Keeps going to the other draws. See? Isn't trading beautiful? Alright. Anyways, that's enough of that. So let us remove and go to the final day in backtesting. Actually, you know, it's a lot easier to backtest when I record myself. I don't know why. So what's happening now? So what ended up happening now, based off, you know, the kind of like analysis that I've been doing. You know, this SMT has been a big reason for why I was bullish in the short term. But then what happens? We tap into this daily fair value gap, and look, it's holding. And there's a bullish fair value gap that was left here that got inversed. So now we are bearish. And bearish to where? Well, bearish to here, at least, right? And bearish until this gap, right? Then we go down and we see, are there any other gaps or obvious liquidity? Well, there is a 4 hour right here. And then we go down again. Is there anything else? No, not really. Not that I see. There's a gap right here, unmitigated gap right here. But have we taken that out yet? No, we haven't. So, you know, when you have, this is, oh my god, again, see, everything happens on every time frame all the time, and it's very similar. What happened here? This is a low that edges a gap right here. So you have an unmitigated gap, unmitigated hourly gap, and a low, and it's close together, which means that it's a very, like, strong draw, right? So we are disrespecting these bearish, or these bullish gaps here, and we are starting to respect bearish on the way down. So until we're down here, I am bullish, or I am bearish, sorry, until we disrespect a higher time frame gap. So there is a high time frame gap right here, and then there is a 4 hour ITL right here because this is a high inside of a gap. Or so ITH, sorry, internal high. Internal high, yep. And we are inside of a 1 hour gap right now. So now we just see how price interacts with this. So this is a 15-minute gap that just got swept, and then this is also a 15-minute, and it's unmitigated. So what's the A plus setup here? Well, if we continue leaving lows that don't take out other lows like this, and then we tap into the 15-minute and then we inverse, right? Then we have this low resistance. Then we have low resistance liquidity. We tap into bearish PD array, bearish fair value gap. We're continuing down with a trend towards like our higher time frame draws, right? So that's what I want to see coming into open, but there's no guarantee that happens. So let's just see. We could open low immediately because we are potentially delivering off of this 15-minute gap right here that we just tapped into, which this one is not a 15, this is a 5, and I mistyped. Okay, so let's see what happens. Do we open high or low? We open high. We open into the 5-minute gap, right? So right now the short time frame is respecting bullish right here. We tap into this 5-minute gap and we're going up. We are going up. We are going up. And where is our draw higher if there is one? So, oh yeah, all the way up here. Is there any other gaps? There is not. Any 5 minutes? No, there is not. Okay. Again, remember, highs that don't take out other highs. What is it? It's low resistance. It's easy to, you know, to trade through. So there is quite a lot of low resistance liquidity here, which will help us get to this draw. So for now, you know, I said that I was bearish unless we start inversing gaps, but look at what happens. This hourly gap here, if this candle stays strong, then we inverse this hourly and then we keep going higher potentially. So let's just see. Yeah, this just looks so bullish. Okay, so now we leave some, we almost go all the way to the draw immediately. That's how powerful low resistance liquidity is. Like whenever you're, or at least for me, whenever you're thinking like, oh, does this target make sense? You have to think like, well, what's in the way of my target? Is there like low resistance liquidity? Is there a reason to go higher? Is there anything that will help my trade play out? Right, so now unfortunately there is no long setup yet. What's the only potential setups here? Well, we either take out this liquidity and then inverse and then go down, or we're so bullish that we keep going. We maybe like accumulate a little bit, we manipulate down into a bullish fair value gap, and then we inverse and then we keep going higher, and then that would be my continuation model. So we just have to see. Oh, we take the high. So now this is where it gets tricky, because you can either short because the liquidity was technically taken, which I think this was my hard time frame draw. So since the draw is taken, you could potentially short, or is the day just so bullish that it's just going to keep going higher? You know what I mean? You just don't know. So technically I did kind of miss a setup there, because this, not saying that I necessarily would have taken it, but and there's an SMT with ES, but you get an inversion after taking this. Yeah, and we're just so bullish. We are just so bullish. Is there even a trade here anymore? Ooh, that looks nice. I might... No, we just inversed. We inversed the 1 hour. We did not inverse the 4 hour. I don't really want to bet against this hourly candle. See how strong it closed and it inversed this gap that we were talking about down here? So now technically we're in bullish order flow, even though, you know, we took out, like, this is a key level, but it's just mixed. So it's hard to know. It's really hard to know because this does look like a really nice inversion, and it could be a short setup down, like back down to potentially here. Yeah, exactly. Oh well. Now we can look for a potential continuation trade either in this gap or this gap. But there's no guarantees here. Yeah, this price action doesn't look like it's going to give an entry. Like, this is just weird because the inversion has to happen all the way up here, which is so close to the draw. Ooh, unless maybe you generate liquidity or something like that? Is that what you want to do? Nothing good. Nothing good. Just kind of strange. So I guess we're just accumulating. Now it's getting late in the day for me to really take anything. There's not much I can do here. Could potentially deliver from here and go lower. I don't even know what model that would be, so I'm not doing it. And it works. My god. Just choppy. Just choppy. That's what happens. It's all good. Okay, that is the end of the week, so. Yeah, that's the backtesting. So I guess let's just take a look at the so this is the start of 2026 for me. I think it was 2 wins and 1 break even. So only 3 trades that week, but it was a good start. Yeah. I don't backtest as much these days because trading's going well for me and my confidence is like pretty high now. But I definitely want to try and aim for like a over 65 win rates, like ideally 70%, just so that I can have that in my backtest. So that's what I'm going to be working on, and I'll be working on my live trading. So the next video, I don't know, can you see? Yeah, you can see this. Okay, so I would also like to go through my backtesting journal just to see what common mistakes I am making. So just so that I can keep learning. So yeah. I was just curious right there, 2025. This looks exactly like what we were just trading in 2022. But anyways, okay, that's everything for now. So, yeah.